Hello people, welcome back to the channel. This is the Den of Soccer. So the transfer window is open and every team is looking to reinforce that is their squad. And we bring you that is the latest transfer news and rumors relating to Arsenal and other Premier League clubs. Listen, Arsenal are looking to reinforce that is the attack, especially wingers looking at the injury to Saka and also looking at how unproductive our wingers have been. Arsenal is looking at Kingsley Coman as an option to come in with attacking power to help us at least not miss the absence of Saka so much. But I have a few questions when it comes to that because as much as we can acquire that is Kingsley Coman is injury prone and the Premier League is a high intensity league. And with the injuries that he's getting in the Bundesliga, I'm not so sure whether we getting him will be a good option because if he goes on injury, we don't know when he's coming back. He's missed a lot of games for Bayern through injury, and although he's a very good player, I still have my questions and my doubts about him. Not his performance, but in terms of him being fit to play, that is the games that we need him to play. Now, we all know that Arsenal were also interested in Matthias Cunha, that is Wolves number 10. There is news that Wolves are working on a long-term contract for him and he's prepared that is to sign it. If that is the situation, then it's less likely for us to acquire that is Matthias Cunha even in the summer transfer window because the price tag or perhaps the release clause will be way higher, and Arsenal will have to go in with a hefty fee in order to get that type of player. So let's still see what comes up in the coming days because Arsenal still remain that is interested in Matthias Cunha. Another rumor coming out from the transfer window is Arsenal interest in Omar Mumosh. Omar Mumosh is an Egyptian and that also a player for Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. And if Arsenal could get a player like that, he could play in the front three like every position from the left, right, middle. He could play through even a 10, really. And if we could get that sort of player, it would be really good for our football team, but it will not be easy getting him as Manchester City is also interested in him. But if I were the player, I'll be looking at it as my chances with this current Manchester City team. So you're looking at actually who you are going to replace. And if you want to replace that is Julian Alvarez, I don't think you want to get regular football. So really, it's up to him to make that his decision and see what is best for his career by his representatives. But as it stands now, Manchester City have held talks with the player and his representative, but not with the club. So Arsenal are still interested, and he'll be a great addition to this current Arsenal team. And we should, as a football club, try as much as possible to not let Manchester City get their hands on that player because he's really good. It would be a shame if Manchester City only gets him and then puts him on their bench. Now, news on the outgoing players from Arsenal Football Club is that there has not been any contact from Celtic as initially was said that Celtic were interested in Tierney in this transfer window, but I understand that they're spoken to the player and they are looking at a free transfer in the summer where Kieran Tierney will be a free agent, but will Arsenal wait and get no money for Kieran Tierney? I doubt that. So let's see what happens, whether Arsenal will let him go or find a suitor for him so that, there could be some kind of money coming through. But I think it will be a good market if Arsenal actually lets him go this transfer window before it goes as a free agent. Because as much as the potential was way up there for Kieran Tierney, injuries did not allow him reach his full potential. It was also said that Arsenal were interested in Isak, but I felt that rumor was not a real one because if you look at Newcastle United, there is absolutely no chance of Newcastle United letting Isak go this January transfer window. It will be absolutely crazy to let him leave this January transfer. There is a rumor that Aston Villa is interested in Kolo Muani from PSG. PSG want a permanent move for Kolo Muani, who is currently unsettled at PSG. And the major clubs that are looking at that Kolo Muani situation is Juventus, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig, and among these clubs is Aston Villa. Aston Villa has that is two prolific strikers, Oli Watkins and John Durant. If they are looking at bringing in Kolo Muani, does that mean that they could lose either of them? I'm looking at, I think, Oli Watkins, because he's the one who is being currently dropped to the bench. And if Arsenal should get that as Oli Watkins, I think it will be good, and I think it will cost that is much less. So if Arsenal Football Club could exploit that would be a really great addition to our current squad. Next on the list, it is said that Lopetegui, West Ham coach, is likely to be sacked, and the coach who is likely to replace him leading the list is Potter Graham. This coach was a great coach for Brighton before he switched to Chelsea, and where he got sacked. So we should be looking at that as well. Newcastle's interest in McGahey from Crystal Palace. But here's the thing, it will be a tricky one because there's also the talks on the recall of Trevor Chalobah by Chelsea because they need reinforcement to their defense as Wesley Fofana is injured and it was likely to be a long-term injury. So they are looking at a recall of Trevor Chalobah back to the club. But if they should lose McGahey with the surrounding rumor of recall of Trevor Chalobah, is that possible? If it's possible, then I think the fee will most likely go higher than the 70 million that that was requested last summer by Crystal Palace. So that is also another thing the transfer world needs to also be looking out for. Aston Villa, as I said, are also looking into bringing more attackers. We've already mentioned Kolo Muani. They're also looking at Donnell Malen. That is an ex-Arsenal player who went to PSG and went to Dortmund, and now Aston Villa are also looking at the situation whether they could bring in to enforce that is their attack. The fee is also known to be around 30 million. That is what the club wants. There's been agreements with the player, but not with the club. Now Newcastle are set to lose Dubravka, who is likely to join. That is the Saudi league. So they are looking at also bringing in Burnley goalkeeper and England international Trafford, which they are still working around. There is still that is no club to club that is conversation or agreement, but they are still looking at bringing in that is Trafford from Burnley. So that's just something also to look at. Casemiro from Manchester United is also likely to join. That is the Saudi league, and the club that is most likely for him to join looks like El Nasser, where Cristiano Ronaldo plays, and will be a very good reunion with his former teammates. So this is the transfer news that we have for you today. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned with up-to-date news. This is the Den of Soccer, and see you in our next video.
It's fantasy hero retreads the ball.